as human beings, there's so many things that we can talk about, and then there's so many things we will never talk about. And I guess if something is on somebody's mind, and if they can't function, because it's eating at them inside, I think perhaps at that point somebody might think, well, if only I could just tell somebody.
I've been in this country for a few years now, and we're really starting from scratch here. And that was really, really challenging, and I think this move has had more of an impact on me than what I even realised.
I was 35 when I went for psychoanalytic psychotherapy twice a week. I think if you had spoken to me about psychotherapy or counselling or whatever, up until then, I would have said something like, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole. That, to me, the notion of going to talk to someone or getting help would have expressed some kind of sense of vulnerability.
I think, like many people, I thought, oh, that's not for me. That's just for people who might be not coping. And I was one of life's great copers. And so I kind of put it off on that basis. I thought, I'll manage.
I was terrified. I thought I was going to be told off, put down a peg or two, told to back up my ideas, get sorted, you know, all sorts of things.
To be honest, I don't really know where to begin. I think there's a lot of painful things that I don't know necessarily I'm even ready to talk about.
And that's absolutely fine, and it's not for me to go further than you're ready to do, because you're telling me you haven't done this before.
People can be put off counselling for quite a variety of reasons, very often based on the knowledge they've got of other people's experience, or indeed watching the television sort of experience, you know, which is to do with psychiatry or to do with other forms of help, which are really quite different. Many people feel that there can be a stigma about mental health or having a note on their medical records about a referral, a psychiatric referral. And many of these doubts and concerns are perfectly legitimate and understandable.
I think there's a stigma attached to counselling as well. I think people might feel that, well, if we go, then people might think there's something wrong with us. I think that's quite a big thing as well, especially around couple counselling. You know, where, you know, the sort of norm is, the cultural norm is that, you know, whatever goes on between husband and wife it remains between husband and wife, and, you know, how can a third person help? What if they drive you to a divorce, and what if?
If it was taken as a sign of a strength, that you try to save a marriage, you try to save the relationship, you say, and people in that relationship, the children, then it should be seen as a sign of strength, rather than a sign of weakness.
Very often people have had the message that things are their fault, so then they can feel very guilty. I think that sense of feeling disloyal to the other people in the person's life that they might be talking about can feel very strong at times, and that, you know, again, that's the stuff of counselling, to talk about that and to work through it.
The fear of being poked around in and being looked at, you know, I think that would put most people off. And that's why I emphasise the notion that counselling and psychotherapy are a kind of dialogue. And they're about a relationship between the counsellor and the client. And it's a human relationship. It's a person-to-person relationship, characterised by respect both ways. And that the best counsellors and psychotherapists offer that.